The FNAF lore today is a hot mess. With about 11 main games released, it could be pretty difficult and confusing to keep up with the FNAF lore today. Especially after Security Breach, that game alone just broke the FNAF community down. But what if 10 of those main games never existed? What if Scott only released one game and let the story that was told in there be what the FNAF lore is today? And in today's video, that game will be FNAF 2. We'll be going through phone calls, the mini games, and the secrets of the game to try to come up with a story and a timeline for us to imagine what the FNAF lore would look like if FNAF 2 was the only FNAF game ever. To give you a better explanation of what this video is about, I'm going to go over some rules. First rule, the game that came before and after FNAF 2 do not exist. None of the lore clues from those games can be used in this video. The second rule is I have to make things make sense. If I'm not able to tell a good story by the end of the video, then I lose the challenge. Third and last rule is to not lose my mind and go into a deep depression because of this. Cause, oh my god, I might go insane. Alright, now that's out the way, let's begin. Night 1, we get some information we can start building around with. First is the beginning cutscene we get of us inside of Freddy looking left and right, seeing Bonnie and Chica unwithered and fixed. Now remember that because that will be important for the timeline at the end of the video. We just keep looking and it glitches us out beginning the first night. We begin the night and of course Phone Guy will be giving us all the information we need. And since I'm actually going to need him this video, he won't get any hate the entire vid. We reached an agreement for him to be useful this video and not give us a whole lot of nothing, so that's why he's not getting any hate. First thing that Phone Guy mentions is an old location that had a bad reputation, and because of that it was left to rot. But you can just forget about that. This one is way better and learn from their mistakes by adding an upgraded security to the new animatronics, giving them a criminal database. Boom, write that down and begin writing the next one as he starts talking about the security guard who worked here before us. The guard complained about the animatronics moving, which should be impossible by the way, and got switched to the day shift. What a bitch. Next note is how we take care of the animatronics, which by now you should know how. It's using the mask for every animatronic except for Foxy, where you need to flash him, and for the puppet is winding up the music box. Alright, for night 2 we get more information about the animatronics, specifically the withered ones, saying that the older animatronics are from the previous location. They were going to repair them, but they were just really ugly and scary, so they were just using them for parts, which I put as a side note, saying that it's possible that these animatronics never actually worked and we're just in the back acting as spares. Next, we get information about the puppet, saying that it always just stares at people, which could be the reason why Phone Guy doesn't like the puppet. And yeah, that's all the information Phone Guy gives us for this night. After we beat the night, however, we get a cutscene back as Freddy looking right and left, but this time Bonnie and Chica are looking at us. For the third night, Phone Guy mentions the rumors of tragedy that the locals are making about the establishment, but he tells us not to listen as this establishment is 100% safe, as the day shift guard keeps the place secure from opening to closing. And that's really all the information we get. He never mentions what tragedy or what the rumors actually say, but at the end of the main game we're going to go over all the secret mini games you get after dying, and we'll probably get a good view on what those rumors actually are. After we beat the night though, we return as Freddy looking left to right, with Chica and Bonnie looking more our direction, but this time with Golden Freddy in front of us. For night 4, things start getting a little weird in the restaurant, as now there's an investigation that is going on in the building. The Phone Guy assures that nothing is wrong and denies any wrongdoing, but he does mention that someone has tampered with the facial recognition software that the new animatronics have installed, and the animatronics started acting weird with the adults. They act fine with the kids, but when it's for the adult, they just stare, looking mad suspicious towards them. Now note that down because that will be very important for the lore later. After we beat the night, we go back and just see the puppet right in front of us, staring at us no matter what direction we look towards. The fifth night is a weird one. Phone Guy sounds very nervous and scared compared to the other phone calls he's given us. He talks about how the building has gone to a full lockdown. Nobody can go in and nobody can go out. And the reason why is because he's concerned of previous employees breaking into the pizzeria and tampering with the animatronics more. Which we're going to give a side note saying that it might have been an old employee breaking into the building that tampered with the animatronics the previous night. So whenever the next day comes, the animatronics won't recognize that he's there. The phone guy says that it's a safety hazard now and that he'll be changing our shift from day to night starting tomorrow, as the position randomly became available. We can put another side note here, as this might suggest that the day shift guard might have been fired or even worse, killed by either the intruder or one of the animatronics, which would explain the phone guy's nervousness. Phone guy also tells us that he's going to contact the old restaurant owners to know what the history behind these animatronics are, or maybe to figure out why they attacked the day shift guard. However, we survived and got a check of $100. I'm finna go spend that on $25 McChicken meals at McDonald's. I'll be right back.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. No.
Now we're at the 6th night and we're just not supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to come back to the restaurant as it's closed down. Someone had used a spare yellow suit that they had in the back, and now none of the animatronics are working correctly. After this shift, the guard will be going to a day shift and the phone guy himself will be taking the night shift, which means if we play night 7, we're playing as the phone guy, not the guard. After we complete the night, we get another $20, which I'm gonna use to buy a $19 Fortnite card. Who wants it? As the game finishes, we see in the background a newspaper reading that says Freddy Fazbear's is closing its doors. The new animatronics are being scrapped due to malfunctions and the old ones are being saved for maybe a revival. The restaurant will reopen with the old animatronics and they will use a less bigger budget, which means the flashbacks we got after beating every night are from the restaurant that was opened after this, not before, as we came to the conclusion that these animatronics were not working in the previous location. Now that we've went over all the lore pieces and phone calls the game gives us through the main game, now we can go over the mini games that happens whenever we die. First is Foxy seeing 5 bodies on the floor with Purple Guy lurking, ending the mini game in a jump scare. This is also when we understand that Purple Guy is the criminal that the animatronics are specifically looking for, which also tells us that he's the one that messed with the animatronics database, so it doesn't recognize him as a criminal anymore. We understand this more as he also killed one outside of a restaurant in the Take Cake to the Children minigame, which also hints to be the puppet, as at the end of the minigame, once Purple Guy drives away, the puppet is the one that jump scares us. Next minigame is Save Them, where you play as Freddy again, going around following the puppet and just seeing blood and kids on the floor around the entire building. And by the end, the Purple Guy appears and stops the minigame. This one is showing us maybe what exactly happened on night 3, the day before the investigation and the day that the facial recognition database was tampered with. For the last mini game we get, it's the puppet going around giving life to all the dead spirits that happened on that night, which could explain why on night 4 they're just looking at the adults really weirdly, as if they were looking for the one responsible for this. Alright, now that we completely covered everything lore related in the game, we can now take all of our notes and make our timeline, starting from the beginning. Fredbear's Family Diner failed, sucked, trash. A tragedy happened there that completely ruined the restaurant's reputation. That tragedy being the death of the girl outside of the restaurant that one fateful night. And as this tragedy affected the restaurant, they were left to rot, including all the animatronics and the spare animatronics in the restaurant, until Fazbear Entertainment decided to take these animatronics in for themselves and begin a new restaurant, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As they were ready to repair these animatronics, they've decided to leave it for parts, as they looked really creepy for what their target audience was. So they decided to create new ones with criminal database to keep the person responsible of the previous restaurant's failure out of this one. Everything was running smoothly for about like a week. Yeah, the animatronics may be moving around when they're not supposed to, but it's because they probably don't have a proper night mode in their system. Until they find out that the withered animatronics could also move, which should be impossible as they realistically shouldn't be able to move at all. It's not a problem though, as there was ways to trick them back to where they first were, except for the puppet. She doesn't act like the others. She just, well, stares, always alert, as if she's looking for someone that might have murdered her. Yes, the puppet is the girl that was murked outside Fredbear's Family Diner that one day, just like in the real lore, but it's kind of obvious. That's why she looks suspicious all the time. She's looking for the man who did this to her, and on the 10th day he'll arrive, breaking into the restaurant, fiddling with the animatronics database, but not not just that, he also took the lives of 5 children that was at the restaurant at the time, hiding them in the storage room. The puppet goes and discovers their bodies and decides to give them another chance, having their spirits take over the spare animatronics they had in the back. And on the next day, an investigation happened. The owner is confused on why or what happened. For what they know, nothing happened. They deny any wrongdoing. Then on the next day, the investigation becomes serious. Nobody is allowed in and out as the detectives find out that someone broke into the restaurant and messed with the animatronic security. The owner is so worried that he plans on making the night shift guard a day shift guard because the position was just made available. Most likely because the guard was fired for not keeping the place secure and relying too much on the animatronics. The owner is also going to contact the owners of Fredbear's Family Diner to get more information on who exactly could have done this. Then on day 13 of the new location being open, it gets shut down. Someone had used a spare yellow suit that they had in the storage, most likely seeing a body inside of it, which could be one of the children that the purple guy murdered. And after finding this out, all the animatronics started to act weird. They were already acting weird days before, looking at adults really strange as if they were looking for somebody specifically. And due to this big malfunction happening, the restaurant gets shut down. For the exact same reason Fredbear's Family Diner was shut down, because of the man behind the slaughter. Fazbear Entertainment, however, planned to rebuild again, this time using the spare animatronics in the back and using a lower budget, as they probably blew all the money using this brand new technology just for it to malfunction and not work, costing some innocent lives. And also for the security guard being lazy as shit. Like, dog, look at the cameras. How did you not see this dude break in? But yep, that's basically the timeline I came up with. I tried my best to come up with a story for this game, and I think it came out pretty good, to be honest. It gives us a great beginning, but the end, not so much. We still don't know exactly what happened to the purple guy. I was gonna say that he alt-deleted himself by hiding in the yellow suit, but I feel like it makes more sense for it to be the child because we never get any hints of there actually being a 6th spare animatronic, which is obviously Spring Bonnie. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, I'm trying to hit 15K before summer ends, and we got like a couple weeks left. So subscribe right now, turn the notifications, and I'll see you next time.